2, 3.
Hallå.
Hej.
Hallå. Hallå.
Hallå.
Hej.
3, 2 kommer. 4. 3. 5, 2. 5, 2 har. Hallå.
4.
4. 7, 1.
Inte så lätt säger jag.
Tu lui demandes à la radio ou pas?
Non. Non.
Jag lämnar i Oestersund. Det är härligt med skjutet.
Seconds!
1 då kan man titta på sig. Va?
And of course, Florent there, bib 22, his brother alongside him for the French team, Fabien Claude. So they're almost skiing side by side now.
So it's a while since we had a relay, Mike, and I think it was Russia who won the last one. If I'm not mistaken, just trying to make sure. Novo Mesto, actually it was Germany who won in Novo Mesto. I knew it was a surprise result, and the Germans are racing again today, wearing bib number 4. Eric Lesser taking the first leg for them. No sign of him. He's back in about 6th or 7th place at the moment.
Yes, and of course the Norwegians, the team to beat for a record 4 seasons in a row. They've taken the relay title. So big breakthrough and absolute domination with so many points. In fact, they weren't off the podium at all last year. Russia only a 2nd and 2/3. They want more from this season.
But I think it has to be said, Mike, that Norway only won 2 of the 6 last season. As you say, very consistent. 2 wins, 3 seconds and a 3rd. They did take the world title, which was the one they were after, but they've dropped Sturla Holm Leigrid. He's being rested for tomorrow, and Sivert Bakken has come in. The youngster, he's not as quick as the best. He's sitting there in 4th at the moment, looks perfectly comfortable. He's quite a good shot, actually, and it will be interesting to see how he copes with the pressure of taking leg number 1. And the world best from the last 2 seasons, Johannes Tingesbø, has been put on the easy leg, the 3rd one.
Yes, quite a turnaround. I think there's a lot of belief, and quite rightly so, with a 2nd and a 5th place. A lot of belief now in Christensen. It's always been about his shooting. That's his strength, but he's really lifted his skiing times as well. A very big responsibility and pressure for the Norwegian team, the anchor leg.
Well, a little bit of a burst coming in from Fabien Claude. He's opened up 4 or 5 meters as they come in for the first of 8 shoots in the relay. Each leg is set for 7.5k. Each lap, of course, 2.5 kilometers, just 500 meters longer than we saw in the women's pursuit earlier on today. And Sweden, they came so close this morning. The 2 Öberg sisters were right in the running until the very last shoot, but eventually Elvira ran out of gas. But you know, they made for a good race.
Huge
3 out of 3.
Pressure on Bakken to be brought in at such a late call, but he's coping really well.
in 4th, out first. The coaches, Ziggy Mazet, can't ask much more than that. You know, important day for him, Mike, because if he puts in a good performance here, he could become first reserve for the relay and eventually step up and be one of the big 4.
Very much. Look at Sweden. Nellen has just got 1 chance left. He's used up 2 of his spare rounds already, and he's going to come out in what, the bottom 6 teams. That's in fact last probably now.
Oh, penalty loop for Sweden, penalty loop for Moldova, penalty loop for Bulgaria. And the Swedes, it's all about glory or bust. They've had some fantastic results this week. Hanna Öberg, we've had Samuelsson, who's on fire when it comes to the sprint events, and he's skiing quicker than anyone else. But if they do another penalty loop, Samuelsson's not going to be able to do anything about it. He takes leg number 4. Bakken for Norway. Well, the direction was right, Mike. The elevation, first 2 middle, 3rd one bottom, 4th one high. How do you explain that? Yeah,
do you know, when I saw the first 2 dead centre, I thought he is rock solid. But then his exhale, the rifle slowly coming onto the target. He clipped low and then he went high. Just, I think, nerves. I think he was a little lucky there, but outcome was great.
Yep, and Bakken manages to hold on to the lead. 6:38 the time at the moment. Eric Lesser, good start for him. I'd like to see Eric have a good season. He's a veteran in the German team, and if he performs well, then I think the rest of the team will rise to the occasion. Ries, Doll, and we've got Philip Norath, who's shown good speed, good shooting. He's been given the honour of taking the anchor leg for Germany today.
This is the tightest part of the track, stumbling and tripping first time around on this section, but they're all through the narrow section now.
Bakken looks very well balanced. There he is leading the way. He's got Lesser just behind him. Russia are looking good. Khalili it is on their first leg. He is teamed up with Sokovstov. We've got Loginov going leg 3. Eduard Latipov taking leg number 4. So pretty strong Russian team. I think leg 2 is the one where their fate will be decided. If they can get through there unscathed, then they've got a chance of getting on the podium today. Japan going well initially, Mike.
Yes, it's really nice to see unexpected teams in the top 10. As you say, Japan and Belgium 5th as they left the range, and Switzerland up in 6th. Also Lithuania, up into 7th. So all these lower ranked teams, a very good start today.
It's early days. It is early days. Dombrovski has had a good, you know all about that. You know, the strong teams put their strong man on the anchor leg. The weak teams put their strong man on the first leg.
That to try and keep the team in the running. And look at this. This is definitely the biggest surprise of the day. Sweden so far down. It was 47 seconds. It's still 47 seconds.
They've got a challenge. They need Elvira Erberg to make up the difference. She is skiing incredibly well, Mike.
What a turnaround in terms of performance on the track. She's lifted at least 45 seconds in my reckoning over 7.5 kilometers, and that's a huge turnaround of pace. America up there as well, Patrick. That's good news for the American team. Doherty out of the range in 9th position, no spare rounds used.
Break to the left and then up the little what I call Henley's loop, up to the timing wand and then back down towards the range for their second shoot and final shoot on this first leg. And already we're down to 4 teams at the front.
The pace at the front, Patrick, with Bakken, with respect, he's not the fastest, but Lesser as well, only in the top 50, top 45 in the 2 sprint races he's done. So the pace at the front is allowing some of the other teams to pull back a little time on the track. Broken pole there, who's that? It's at the French team, Italian. Pit stop was absolutely fine there. So second time down, get your breath back as you come down this section, get the breathing under control just for a few seconds. Interesting, Eric Lesser's skis really hauling back time there on Bakken, first man for Norway. But when you're drafting, you get dragged along, and it may well have been that factor which pulled Eric Lesser. Eric Lesser, bib number 4. He was part of the quartet that took the bronze medal 4 years ago at the Olympics in Pyeongchang. I'm quite sure if he keeps racing the way he is, he'll be included again this time around.
So Bakken hoping for more of the same, having cleared 5 on the first shoot. Number 5, that's Said Khalili for Russia. Alongside him is Fabien Cloud for France. So Norway in 1. We've got Germany in 2 with Eric Lesser. France in 4. Russia in 3. Belgium, I think they're in 6. Captions don't seem to be quite in the right place. Good shooting from Norway. Back and 9 out of 9 so far. Can he wrap it up? Yes, he can. But so can Eric Lesser. That is great shooting. Cloud throws one wide and now has to use the spare rounds. Ukraine go 5 with 5. That's useful shooting from them. Artem Prima, one of the veterans on the Ukrainian team. Solid performance from him. And Krčmář coming out for the Czech Republic, just 1.6 down. So that's a really good start for the Czechs.
Look at Kalili for Russia. He's lost a lot of time there, having to use all of his 3 spare rounds and finds himself 18 behind.
Yeah, I think the USA may find themselves on the penalty loop. Just, yes, a quick switch to the left for USA. That's Sean Doherty, who's leading them off today. He's gone and thrown more than 3 wide. Very, very expensive mistakes in the early part of this relay. 4 by 7.5. First relay of the season. Always a little bit of excitement. To me, Mike, this is one of the best days of the season because everyone is hankering for some head-to-head racing.
Oh, it's exciting, it's good, and I heard the fans give a big cheer there when Sweden when Femling put the final shot down, but he's just under a minute behind.
Well, just seeing how he's doing, he was only 47 behind after the first shoot. This is Bakken. Looks very like Johannes Tingesbø.
And I think Bakken has gained himself another call-up for relay racing because he's done absolutely nothing wrong. Needs to hold the pace, though, over this last 2.5 kilometres.
But isn't that great news for the selectors, Mike? Because it means that if one of the big names is struggling a little, or like Leigrid has a big race tomorrow, they'll be totally confident in calling up someone like Bakken, knowing that he's not going to let the side down. Oh,
it's just such a lucky run out he's had today. To be given the opportunity, he's grabbed hold of that opportunity, and he hasn't let them down at all.
Yeah, I mean, Leigrid was on the start sheet. You know, my information tells me he's being rested, but actually, I suspect that he's not feeling 100% because, you know, if you're going to make that decision, you would have made it before the selection was made. And we wouldn't have had Leigrid's name at the top of the start sheet.
Definitely not, I totally agree. And we did notice in the sprint competition he lost a huge amount of time on the last round, and I was surprised actually to see him leading the team out. I thought they may have put Leigrid in second place, but as you say, he's been replaced late on, so maybe not feeling well.
Well, let's hope he recovers before tomorrow for the men's pursuit, their first pursuit of the season. If it's anything like the women's, a really outstanding race earlier on today. Fascinating with the good shots up against the good skiers. And once again, those who are good at both coming through to take the top prize. Victory for Roisland earlier on today. Margin between the top 5, just 16 seconds. Cheng of China, outstanding performance. Finally, the Chinese starting to show some quality. They've been putting a lot of effort in preparation for the games this year, and a top 10 result would be good for them today.
Yes, that is impressive. The Chinese, they do need something to cheer about, and so far we can certainly cheer. Only one spare round asked from Cheng.
The North American teams, Mike, a little bit like the Shemarenko twins. Very difficult to separate them. When one has a bad day, the other does too. Canada down in 17, Doherty of USA in 18th position. They're just about 50 seconds off the pace of the leaders.
Normally, Doherty, he loves relays, doesn't often touch the penalty loop, but unfortunately, he's been round one penalty loop using all 3 spare rounds.
Artem Prima pretty hot with a rifle, Mike, 22.4 seconds. And compare that to Bakken of Norway, 28.8.
That's rapid fire. I love the relay as well. You've got this head-to-head aspect, but you've also got the risk factor on the range. You can shoot a lot faster because you've got 3 extra chances. You don't want to use them if you can help it, but at least you've got a safety blanket.
So Lesser has excelled himself. Cloud in 3rd place. Is Lesser going to let Bakken bring it home after all the work that he's put in? I'm not sure he will. Lesser will be handing over to Roman Rees. We've got Tarjei Bø ready to go for Norway. The 2 Bø brothers going 2 and 3 today. This is where Norway hope they can pull clear and give Christiansen a pretty easy ride into the finish, but it never ever seems to turn out that way.
I'm so impressed. You mentioned about Lesser. His performances have not been glorious in the two sprints. 48th position, 44th position, and today he's staying at the front of the race.
Yeah, 33-year-old now Lesser, sandwiched in between two big men, and yeah, it'd be great to see him do well. Yet to score points in the individual World Cup. So away go Norway. They have the lead. Terje Bø will be shown respect by Roman Rees, I think, who will be quite happy to follow the Norwegian round the next 2.5 Ks. In come Russia and the Czech Republic, fighting it out for 4 and 5. 14 seconds, so they're only, what, 1.5, 2 spare rounds behind the leaders. China, great first leg from them. That's a really good effort. And wearing bib 27, that indicates their world ranking. So to come in the top 6 positions, outstanding.
That's and only 14.9 seconds behind. Great ski speed there from Feng. Well, the first leg athletes, not all through the exchange quite yet, but we've got the shape of the race, and the early shape is Norway, Germany and France. You can see it there at the front. Russia in 4th, Khalili bringing back 4 or 5 seconds over the last 2.5 kilometers. Biggest surprise, without a doubt, ranked 27th. They weren't at the races last year. The Chinese team, so Oleana Bjørndalen, Daria Dobracheva, and Jean-Pierre Amott as the shooting coach. The evidence is good that the team has been vastly improved. The race isn't over yet, but it's good to see them up there in the top 6 at the exchange. Sweden, the biggest disappointment. That's incredible. Femling left the range 1 minute behind, and now the handover is 1:29 behind. So Sweden have a huge amount of work to bring themselves back into this race. Not sure even the great Samuelson on the anchor leg. He's won the last 2 sprint races. I'm not even sure that he can bring Sweden back into this one. The exciting aspect of relays is so much can change in an instant. So you never know if should the wind build up again or any small changes. There was a slight breeze earlier, but so much can change, and maybe opening the door of opportunity. Well, Bakken brought in late as the starter. He's really shone on his way around. He handed over in first place, and no spare rounds used at all.
So lap 4 of 12. Some excellent shooting in the first leg. And just to recap the positions, Norway, Germany, France leading the way. 3 teams that are used to being on the top over recent decades. France certainly ahead of Germany in the pecking order as far as the last 3 years of relays go. Russia down in 4, the Czech Republic 5. Mike, as it's Olympic year, I was just looking up the Olympic results. Interesting to note that the last 4 Olympics have all been won by different teams. Does that mean that this year it's going to be France?
Do you know, the French team, we often thought with the great Martin Fourcade in it, we often had them as, well, I certainly have had them in the past as a favourite, so you never know. They are a great team now, 4 very strong athletes, which they do have. It's just about holding the nerve, isn't it? Holding the confidence and the self-belief.
But bizarrely, Martin Fourcade's absence doesn't seem to weaken the French team. Everyone else seems to raise their game. There's more pressure on them to do so. They're not relying on the strength. It was a bit like when Bjørndalen was at his peak. Norway relied on him too much. They didn't seem to care if they were 45 seconds behind going into the last leg. It's
a strange psychology. Yeah, that's so true. And as soon as Martin Fourcade retired, all of a sudden they stepped up to the plate. Deseo Fillon-Maillet, Jacquelin now destroying the field. He really is. And Martin Fourcade said that Jacquelin is the next best thing.
Well, he's certainly proving it at the moment. He's opened up a decent lead over Tadej Bø. They're coming in for the third of 8 shoots. Margin between the top 5 at the exchange was 15 seconds. With this burst of speed from Jacquelin, it may well be a little bit bigger. But how rash is this, Mike? Do you think he now really eases down and loses that advantage, or he's going to keep the pressure on for the range?
I think he'll try and keep that 3.9 seconds. He has put a lot of energy to gain just 4 seconds, and I think he'll try and hold on to that. There's a lot of psychology coming in with a separation. Your mind plays games, doesn't it? In the relay, there's more to lose. I'm surprised he wanted to try and smash ahead so early.
Vostov of Russia looking pretty comfortable, making no effort to get past Germany and Norway at the moment. Quite happy to sit in there. Just ignore what's going on. You have to race your own race.
Jean-Paul, I wonder if it's gone through his mind as Jacquelin really turn of pace. Has he made that more difficult for him when he comes in to shoot?
For the shooting record so far this year, he had a disaster in the first race here, the individual, missing 6 targets in all in the 4 shoots. But since then, he's been on about 90%, and any misses he's had have come in the standing shoot. So we're on to the prone. He'll be confident with the conditions. He'll be confident with his 0, and I suspect we'll see him clear 5, provided he's patient when it comes to the first shot.
Well, his 4 seconds, they're alongside him now. He won't be thinking of that, Jacquelin.
Change of the sights, look like 2, 3 clicks, possibly anti-clockwise.
Yep, so the wind coming from the right, he's dragged the fall of the shot to the right.
Well, there's the first miss. The 2 leading teams, a chance for a change of the leader here. Spare rounds, each one will take a minimum of 6, maximum of, well, it can take any time if your fingers are cold. Russia go 5 with 5. Great shooting from them, and Daniel Sorokvostov has done well. The Olympic champions from 2014, Russia have the lead. Austria, after their excitement this morning with Lisa Theresa Hauser, they clear 5 and they will join the top 3 of 4. Germany come out 6.9 down.
Oh, look at this,
and
Patrick.
France are still there. Incredible.
4 seconds, a lot of effort to gain 4 seconds, but he's really struggled on the range.
Yeah, lesson learned. Lesson learned. Reminds me of Martin Fourcade way back in Novo Miesto at the World Championships.
Yeah.
When he started playing games. He got a little bit cocky, some would say.
It's your mind games to sprint ahead of the rest of the world on that 300 meters into the range. There's not a lot you can gain, but you bring a lot of risk going into the range first.
Yeah, I think Fourcade was just trying to upset the thinking of everyone else, but all he did was upset himself. It was almost comical, but lessons learned. I'm surprised it hasn't been passed down to Jacquelin.
Yeah, there's a certain method which works. USA and Belarus, both teams on the last shot, they've both succeeded in getting the last target down.
The gaps are growing. 17 is Japan. Tashizaki had a pretty respectable first leg, and Kowanoki now on course for them. Just update you on the margins as we go back out on the tracks. 3 shoots completed. It's Sorokvostov of Russia who leads, 3.1 ahead of Tadej Bø of Norway. Rees of Germany in 3rd place. Piktrushny of Ukraine 4. Simoneda is up in a 5 for Austria. Good shooting. And the Czech Republic in 6, 22 seconds behind. And the Italians still only 22 seconds behind. So they've got a chance of finishing in the top 3. Mike, the best shooting time has come down. Simoneda, 17.3 seconds. Whoa!
Well, I think that's something of a record. From stop, rifle off, magazine in, 5 shots fired, back up, start moving, 17 seconds. That's incredible. Takes most people to stop skiing, get the rifle off, put the mag in, and you're still on about 25 seconds, a normal human being. That's without even firing 1 shot.
These of Germany. watching the leaders just slowly pull away.
Just had a feel there looking at Tarieboga, Patrick, in second. Not quite the spark and the punch that we've seen in some of the earlier races this year, but maybe he'll just get into the race and begin to extend the pressure.
Yeah, he's pulling back on Russia. He was at 3.1. Teammate going through, that's Pigdrushny for Ukraine. Simoneda right on his heel. Here comes Jacquelin. He's now got to do something spectacular to make up for those mistakes on the range. 21 seconds down, having been 4.1 ahead going into that last shoot. And what tactics will he use next time around? I suspect he might take it easy, but he's got to push the pace now, Mike. And having said he'd hit them all on the first shoot, I'm going to say he's going to miss a few on the second one, and he'll probably clear 5.
Do you know, that's well, my thinking is he's had to punch pull back 7 seconds from the range to the high point of the track. That's expensive. So again, he's put a huge turn of pace in, and he's going to be at the high end of his capacity when he comes down into the range to shoot.
Russia, Norway, Germany, 3 of the powerhouses in biathlon. Sweden, of course, the Olympic champions. That was a special day for the Swedish team. And actually, Pyeongchang was hugely successful. And really, Sweden's success out in Pyeongchang in Korea in 2018 has been the catalyst for the success they're having now.
They're just incredibly. And I think when you go into an Olympics like that, they weren't the underdogs, but they didn't have huge expectations. And then to win the relay, so they had no pressure going into that relay. They'd achieved early results in the Olympics, and they were very relaxed. Today they're not relaxed because they're desperate to win this one, and you can see the tightness in the Swedish team's performance. So they're out of the race by nearly 2 minutes now.
Ada at 13, and after the last shoot he was he's exactly the same. So Ada keeping pace with Surovstok of Russia. Sorokvostov, I should say. Tricky one to get your tongue round.
The Austrian team great at the moment, but with respect, Magnus Oberhauser coming up on the 3rd leg, and then a reliable anchor with Felix Leitner.
Yeah, I like his balance, Mike. Looks very competent. Reminds me a little bit of Maigarov on skis.
Yes, this man is good. Still very young, a 22-year-old, but looks like an absolute veteran the way he's performing so far.
So Russia get lane 1 again. Second shoot, second leg. We're almost at the halfway stage of the first relay of the season. Germany have a chance. Germany, the winners of the last relay, which took place in the Czech Republic, Nové Město. Here we go. 8 rounds, 5 targets. If you want the lead, you need 5 with 5. It's a veteran who does it. Tarieboga, the overall World Cup winner from way back in 2011, a decade ago. He goes clear. Ukraine join them. Good shooting from Ukraine. Pigdrushny's had an outstanding day so far. Germany with 2 misses. Russia with 2 misses so far, and they've still got a target to clear. Oh, that took its time to go down.
Roman Rees said, yeah, it's still 2 shots left. He would love it this time. He's got
Italy with Giacomello up there, Mike, and now they've got Lukas Hofer and Dominic Vindish to finish. So they've got a powerful second half to the relay. Could it be their day?
They have, and Jacquelin, it wasn't bad. He only used 1 spare, but he took his time. He had to use a lot of time to get his breath back, and now he's 32.5 behind. Czech Republic struggling now. That's so sad. They started so well.
Jacquelin still 4 seconds further back than he was after the 3rd shoot, Mike, so nothing gained, largely due to that missed shot But I wonder whether that's an indication that he's not going to be able to make up too much ground on the last 2.5K.
I think that is. This last 2.5, you think, oh, it's nothing, just from the range to the line. China's still doing well.
Yeah, Xingyuan keeping them close enough to the top 10 to think it's still possible. Let's have a look. Talia Burt, oh, that last shot was an absolute beauty.
Do you remember all that time ago at the Olympic Games when they put Tariabo into the relay, and we were thinking, oh, that's a bit of a risk, Olympic Games, putting a youngster. And they took the gold medal, so he was part of that gold medal team 11 years ago and still performing so well now.
Gaps at the front are growing. Here comes Sorok Vostov. He's certainly digging deep now. Just behind him is Simoneda for Austria. I didn't see Ada's shooting time. I think he was 33.1. He must have missed on that last shoot. He did. He missed one. The fastest shot, 21.1. Giacomelli of Italy. And that's why the Italians find themselves just outside the top 4.
It's nothing. When you look at the times there, the 8th position is only 30 seconds behind. So any one of these teams can bounce forward depending on what happens further up the field. And there are always so many surprises in relays. I love the way that Slovenia are performing today. Jakov Fak has brought them back up to 10th place, only 43 seconds behind.
Pigrushny at 9.8. That was some excellent shooting from him. Ukraine with Simbal and Dudchenko, they've played their trump cards, I think, with Prima and Pigrushny, so I'm not sure they're going to stay top 3. Russia are there at the moment, and the Russians with Loginov and Latyapov, they're confident they can do something. Ada in 5 for Austria. Rees of Germany, who was right in the mix at the start of this second leg, has dropped back a bit, and Giacomelli of Italy still at 32, so holding his own on the skis. Tadia digging very, very deep, isn't he? He was almost looking at those targets as if he hated them, Mike. But I guess that's he just trying to take all the motion out of it. There was no look of nervousness. It was just a sort of pure focus.
Absolutely deep. And you know, they've all thought this through last night in the evening, just thinking, right, how am I going to feel when I come into the range? Just an angry look or a neutral look down the range, and it's all about business. He focused in on himself entirely, his breathing, managing that, getting a good solid support through the rifle, and now he really is opening up to his fastest speed possible.
Well, this is good work. Every second may count. He's going to be handing over to his brother, Johannes Tingis Burr, who's yet to have a vintage Burr race so far this season. He's not on his best form, but it just suddenly comes, doesn't it? Are you thinking we might see something special from the younger brother?
I think so today. I think the 3 spare rounds and just the fact that it is a relay. Johannes Tingesbo has always given something extra on the track and on the range when it comes to relays. And we haven't seen the best of him yet. Maybe he is saving that for today. I do like the way they put him 3rd leg as well, rather than anchorman today, the Norwegian team. Yeah, they did that a few times last year, and it absolutely paid off with the Norwegians. In the World Championships, that's exactly where it went. It was Lygrid, Bo and Christiansen. Was going to be the same team today, except Bakken came in for Lygrid at the last minute. Away goes Johannes Tingis, the winner of the overall World Cup for the last couple of seasons. He's been chased by Ukraine, Bogdan Simbal. If he can stay with the Norwegian, he's doing very, very well. 3rd place at the moment to Russia. They were 19.7 behind. They're still 19.7 behind.
and out they come. It's Alexander Loganov, perhaps the most experienced in the team, who takes the third leg today. Italy still fighting. They've got a chance of a top three. So have France, so have Austria, so have Germany. And Germany now with Benedikt Doll, former sprint world champion. But that is getting longer and longer ago, back in 2017, when he won that title in Hochfilzen. We're going to have to stop mentioning it soon.
Well, there's Slovenia, so up to 8th. That's a good run, a very good run from Jakub Fak.
Switzerland off in 10, and the Swiss wearing bib 13. Benny Vega did well. Nicholas Hartweg is now on course. Lukas Hoffer I'm interested to see what he can do, because he had what you might call a confidence booster in the sprint, finishing in the top 7.
That was a fabulous turnaround of pace. He really wasn't at the races. The old Lukas Hoffer wasn't there last weekend, but he really is at the races this weekend.
So China getting away just ahead of the Czech Republic. They'll have a good battle on leg number 3. China, remember, ranked 27, largely because they haven't entered relays before, but it's Zhu Zhenyu who takes leg 3, then Zhang Chunyu, who will be on the anchor leg for them. Let's look at the leaders after the second exchange, the halfway point of the relay. Norway, Ukraine, Russia, Italy, Austria, France, Germany make up the top 7, and the team that have been top for the last 3 seasons leading the way as usual. Business as usual for them. Certainly on paper, they should make fairly easy work of this.
Well, that was the brothers Boo just handing over older brother to youngest brother, or the younger brother. And just looking, if Tarjei Bø wins, if the Norwegians win this race today, that'll put Tarjei Bø on 22 relay victories for Norway, and places him 1 ahead of the great Svensson. So something for the record books if they stay at the top. Race is still a way to go, so this is only leg 3 for Norway. It's Johannes Tinges Bø, and then the anchor leg is Vetle Sjastad Christensen. So it has a way to go, but I would suggest that Christensen is a safe anchor leg, based on everything he's done so far this season. So Loganov trying to pull some time back on the track. Well, he's actually not. He started at 19.7 behind. He's down to 24 behind. So there we are, 4 teams, one behind the other. It's France, Austria, Germany and Italy. The neighbours are neighbours on the track. So this looks easy from Johannes Tinges Bø, but clearly on the timings behind, it's hurting the rest. The chasers.
Leg 3 and lap 7 of the 12 raced here tonight. Great atmosphere after the excitement of the women's pursuit earlier on today. In the men's pursuit, it will be Samuelsson who leads off tomorrow ahead of Jacquelin. The margin is fairly substantial, 18 seconds. Fion Maillet just behind him, Latiapov, Christensen, Leigvik making up the top 6 in that men's pursuit tomorrow. Do tune in to watch that. It should be an absolute cracker of a race. But before that, we'll have the women's relay, their first relay of the season. Any favourites in the women's relay, Mike?
The women's relay, I think it's... I did think Sweden would do well in the men's race today. I thought at least a podium, but they're way out of it, 21st position. But I do think the Swedish women's team will be challenging for that first place. Norway are strong as well. And the German team will be stronger tomorrow as a quartet.
Yeah, I was looking at Sweden's results last year. A second, a first, a 7th, a 15th, a second, and 11th. So it either goes brilliantly or disastrously. There is no in-between for them. And sadly today, the standard has not been good. It all got off to a very, very bad start on leg number 1 with Pepe Femling.
He's got his fans there. That's not far to the Norwegian border from here.
First shot absolutely key with Johannes Tingis.
That touched the bottom, didn't it, on the edge? They're all low.
Oof. He gets 5. He comes away unscathed. A little bit fortunate for Norway there, and Ukrainian must match them. Simbal does just that. Good shooting from him. Russia yet to shoot. Logging off on course at the moment.
Well, Simbal pulled a lot of time back. He was 18 seconds behind, and now he's only 6. That's entirely in terms of shooting time. Johannes Tingesbo took ages to get his alignment. He wanted to make sure he was centered to that target.
Germany have their fans here, and they're hoping that Benny Dole can clear the 5. He's taking his time. It's a long, long shoot from Dole. Oh, that must be 10 seconds on that last shot alone, and then he goes and misses as well. So a loss of at least 15 seconds there.
Look at Oberhauser for Austria. He's on his spare rounds, and he's only got 1 target down. Oh, that's the pressure of first time in a relay team. It's horrible.
Yeah, Komats and Ada will be looking the other way, but they've been there as well. They'll know what it feels like. Hopefully they'll be full of support when he eventually comes across the line. They might have a while to wait. Oberhauser has 3 penalty loops to ski, and each one's going to take 25 seconds, so another minute at least thrown away by the Austrians, who are looking so good at the halfway stage.
Oh, that is a real turnaround, isn't it? We don't often see in conditions which, quite honestly, they're not that difficult. The wind is changeable from left to right, but it doesn't move the fall of the shot by such a margin.
Yeah, one by one, the minor nations drop out of it, Mike. We still have the Italians in there. Not saying they're a minor nation, but they have sprung a surprise. They have won a relay. They did that in Oberhof in dreadful conditions. That was a wonderful race, and I think everyone would love to see them challenging for a win again.
Certainly would. This was Johannes. He took, as I said earlier, a long time to build this position, wanted to make sure that everything was relaxed and centered to the target. Pulse rate of 166, you can see there from Simbal.
Johannes Tingesbo, a 35-second shoot, and Simbal pulling back some 13 seconds in the shooting alone. That's a lot of distance out on the snow, so good work from Ukraine. Safe work, I think most people would say, from Norway. They have the lead and can probably afford to run at 85% to secure the victories. What is important for them now is that they avoid the penalty loop. 15, he was 6.8, so the gap growing. Loganov was 18 behind, that's grown to 21.3. And Simon Dessieux at 40 seconds. Well, top 2 still very possible for France, and I think Lukas Hofer may be able to get on the podium as well. I think it's going to be quite an exciting final leg here in Oestersund.
Certainly in terms of ranking, you look at the Belgium team, Bouvet now out on the track, ranked 22nd and up into 9th position. That's a very good day for the Belgium team. And Austria, they're right down in 19th, having been up in the top 3, then top 5. But that was a mess on the range, and all the way down to 19th.
Benny Dole with his legs wider than most. Where do you stand on the leg recovery issue, Mike? How far back in should you bring that recovery leg?
Well, the thinking, it obviously depends on terrain a little, but the thinking is trying to bring the heel of the boot under the center part of the body if possible. Of course, on steep terrain, you have to then reach up the hill. But Benny is at the limit of width, in my opinion.
I think the idea is on the steeper terrain, if you bring the leg too far in, you slow the tempo too much, and you want to try and maintain a high tempo.
Yeah, yes, you're using your body weight to fall out on the edges in terms of steep terrain.
.22 seconds, so either Johannes Tingesbø has started to slow things down, or Russia's Alexander Loginov has picked it up over the last kilometre. I think it's probably the first of those. He's in control. He's had a few nightmares here, particularly in the World Championships. Meltdown City. He had gold medals in the bag, sewn up, you could say, and he's managed to throw them away.
I think we may see the same procedure as last time, where he'll take Johannes Tingesbø here. He'll take a little longer than most biathletes to feel comfortable.
I think this is quite an important shoot, Mike. If he goes 5 with 5, we may see a different beast in the race tomorrow. If he struggles to get the 5 and, say, misses 2 or even 3, then I don't think he's going to go to bed tonight full of the confidence that you need to go into a race thinking you're going to win it. Here we go. Johannes Tingesbø, shoot number 2 to give Norway what should be a comfortable lead going into the anchor leg.
Masterclass.
That is how it's done. The cameraman didn't know where he was going. He did, which is what matters. So 5 out of 5 for Johannes Tingesbø. The rest are left to fight it out for second and third. The stakes here will be very expensive. Loginov, 3 out of 3 at the moment. Ukraine with Cymbal. He's got two spares to use at least, and a chance for France to move up into the top 2. Danger of sounding like Julia Donaldson there.
Desio had a good look behind him as he came into the range. He's got a 19-second advantage. Oh, what a pity for Ukraine. Cymbal suffering.
Yeah, one penalty to do, and now Simon Desio can take his time. First spare is in, away it goes, and down goes the target. Good skills from France. It's about securing second place now. I don't think he'll have too many ideas about chasing down the leaders. Securing third place, I should say. Loginov of Russia out in second, and a big margin between 2 and 3. Germany, oh, that was so close. Italy have a chance now. That's good. Fourth place at the start of the last leg of the relay is a very, very handy place to be. There's far less pressure than there is on those in second and third.
And Vindish as the anchor leg for Italy. He hasn't had a great start in his individual races, but historically he's a much stronger biathlete when it comes to a relay. Those 3 spare rounds take pressure off him, and he seems to perform better.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Hopper compares to Doll on this last leg. As you can see, heading out for the last 2.5K, 5 seconds separating them. We've got Switzerland have just cleared 5 eventually, but still pretty well placed. The top, well, they're ranked 13, so I think the Swiss would be very, very happy with a top 6 or 7, and they'd be satisfied with a top 10. Nothing firing for the USA so far today, Mike. 9 targets missed. They've done a penalty loop. When we look at the Ukrainians, they have yet to miss a shot. Am I right in saying that, or did they miss one on that last shoot?
No,
they have. Oh no, Simbal had a meltdown. They were clear up until that last shoot. The Norwegians still have only missed one target so far today.
Oh, that is so good. And well, Christensen, this is he has been in the relay many times. He normally started it in the past, but his skiing is much stronger, and this is a new experience for him as anchorman. Still the best team for me in terms of improvement. It's Belgium, and looking very comfortable in 8th position. Sweden at last, Patrick, they've gone from 19th up to 10th thanks to Ponchiloma.
Yeah, good recovery. And then we better have a little wager on how far up the field Seb Samuelsson can go. He takes the last leg for Sweden. 22.2 coming out of the range. It was a 21.4. So Johannes Tingis is not going 100%. Perhaps he's got half a mind on conserving something for tomorrow.
Well, here's my big brave prediction. I think that that Samuelsson will take Sweden. They're at the moment in 10th. I think he'll get them up to 7th.
238 is the margin. 7th place is 149, so he's going to have to produce an astonishing performance. Or, of course, those in front, Belgium, Switzerland, Germany, are going to have to make some mistakes.
Simbal, you know, look at Simbal on the left. He's run out of energy. That mess on the range, it's really affecting his mindset and affecting his skiing performance.
Hoffer, who I think I'm right in saying came out of the range just in front of Germany. Yes, that's correct. 5 seconds. So Benny Doll has had a very good final leg so far, final lap. Johannes Tingesbø, good shooting from him. I think that was just the shoot that he needed, Mike. It was fast. He took his time. He didn't rush the preparation, but once he was into the flow, he let them go, and that's when he's at his best.
It is, and I think today it will be a very important part to Johannes Tingesbø, the early season racing. He knows he has to build the stability, and once he's stable, once he's got a good alignment, he can just release like he used to do, very fast.
Yeah. Norway look comfortable, but the margin is still only 21 seconds, or thereabouts. And that is only 2 spare rounds. If Norway miss 3 targets on this last leg, then they're going to be in trouble because Russia surely will be piling the pressure on. Latipov on the last lap for them. But Christensen, as he starts, as Mike has said, is so consistent with the rifle. He's had one poor shoot so far this year. Otherwise, it's all been going very nicely. But a key factor is his skiing has improved dramatically, and he should be able to wrap this up. But the pressure of leading the relay out with only 20 seconds to spare cannot be underestimated. Good leg from Loginov. .30 seconds in between second and third. France and Ukraine and Italy and Germany are the teams still really in with a chance of finishing on the podium. The French should be able to do it. Quentin Fillon-Maillet. France, who won in Oberhof last year, they won in Antolz at altitude. They looked very good there, but they could not secure a medal at the World Championships, finishing down in 4th place, beaten on that occasion by Norway, Sweden and Russia, who took the bronze medal.
Look at Lukas Hoffer there, second in this 3 coming in. He's done very well. He was well detached from Benny Doll, and he's fought back to make contact.
Yeah, Benny Doll skied the first few hundred meters very fast, Mike, to make up that 5-second deficit. So I'm wondering whether he paid the price of just getting overexcited coming out of the range.
Maybe.
Well, that's going to be a great battle for, well, essentially at the moment for 4th place. But, you know, France and Russia, one of them could make a mistake, and then there might be another podium finish up for grabs.
Oh yes, it's still, even at this stage where things begin to look settled and in a safe place, things can still go wrong. Remember Simbal missing so many targets in his stand shoot under the pressure.
Joscha Burkhalter for Switzerland, 2:04. And Switzerland only 5 targets missed. No surprise to hear that the team that are leading have the best shooting score of the day. That's Norway with just 1 missed target so far. Away go Ukraine, Belarus, Belgium, Sweden, Romania. Sweden now at 2:38. What did you say, Mike? 7th place for Sweden?
7th, and I'm feeling okay about 6th as well. Maybe that's too positive.
Well, let's keep an eye on Seb Samuelsson. Will he go guns blazing? He, of course, has more to save for tomorrow than anyone else because he's going to be starting first. Yes,
I think he could. I think he could make it up to 7th. That's about his best hope. But will he try and conserve something for his 18-second lead tomorrow out in the pursuit? I don't think so. He really is I'll race for my country and I'll give everything on the track. He doesn't hold back in the relays normally. Yeah,
Latipov was 20 seconds behind as he's managed to close at 1.1.
Yes, Latipov's ski speed has been good really throughout last weekend, the opener, and this week as well. His ski speed's pretty safe, one of the strongest in the Russian team.
Yeah, the Russians are a slightly stockier, shorter team than many, aren't they? Their biathletes often come in at around 5'8", 5'9". You look at the Norwegians, well, you're hard-pressed to find a Norwegian under 6 foot, to be honest, and lots of them at 6'6".
Yes, strength. The Russian team seem to maybe angle a little bit more in terms of strength training, specific strength, shoulders wider, all the main muscle groups as strong as they can make them in the summer months.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for your famous Shetland pony line.
I'll save that for later. Shetland ponies, an efficient build. Less levers. And many Norwegian cross-country skiers and biathletes, especially with the weight of the rifle so high up on your back. You do many years in this sport, the back is going up and down, and those lower discs on a big body frame, they wear out.
Yeah, I think way back in the 1980s, 90s, we lost a lot of top skiers and biathletes, of course, to back problems, disc problems. You know, Bjorn Dæhlie himself had real problems, but since then, the teams, the physios, the trainers, the doctors have all learnt that your core is absolutely your bread and butter. If that's not strong, you're going nowhere. So the amount of work they do on the core muscles in the gym is immense.
You're spot on, and that really came through, yes, 10 years ago maybe. I know I suffered badly with sciatica my last season. Getting up from the range, you're like getting this electric shock treatment, but that was just maybe needed to stretch a bit more.
So time to focus. This is Christiansen, last leg for Norway. First shoot coming up of 2 on this last leg, and Norway with only 1 missed shot so far. Was it Bakken? I think Bakken went 10 with 10, didn't it? It must have been Tadiabo, I think, on the second leg who missed.
I think it was, yeah, Bakken was perfect, no problem at all. Just the facial expressions there from Christiansen. Looks a little bit stressed in my book. That's better.
Yeah, it was the prone shoot for Tadiabo, leg number 2. The 29-year-old comes from Oslo. Great training venue there. Hundreds, if not thousands of kilometers of prepared tracks to train on.
Didn't expect that, no. Patrick. I just thought he was secure and anchored.
I had the line ready, but I can't use it. So 4 out of 5 for Christiansen, and possibly 6 or 7 seconds thrown away, but no. Latipov has done likewise on target number 4 instead of target number 5. Both working from right to left. Next in are the French.
Quite a lean from the rifle. He is in this position every time when he shoots, but his personal position is set this way. Perfect.
That's good from Phil Maillet. Looking forward to seeing him in action tomorrow. He'll be one of the main chasers of Seb Samuelsson. He'll start third, having picked up the bronze in the sprint. 21 seconds will be his deficit on that occasion. The deficit here, with just 5Ks to go, is 44. Too much to ask, I think most people would say. Germany trying to put themselves in a position should either Russia, France or Norway make a mistake, and that's a very, very good shoot from the Germans. Philipp Norath has looked good this year. I think he's going to be the big mover and shaker.
He has looked great this year. Windisch, I said he loves relays. He feels better in them. He missed his first 2 shots. He went fast. It didn't work out. Now he's struggling. The Italian, bib number 6.
5 out of 5 for Ukraine. Oh, sorry, 2 spares. It doesn't help looking through one eye, I have to admit. Italy finally get them down, but that's a shame. That might be their chance of a podium gone for Dominik Windisch. Russia, Mike, 5 seconds closer than they were last time around. I wonder how Latypov is feeling.
I think he's got a less pressured position, hasn't he? Nothing to lose, only to gain. Christensen has just only got a lot to lose, and that's a happier place to be, I think, chasing than leading into the last shoot.
He looks very relaxed, though, doesn't he? He looks super, super relaxed. I wonder whether he's just trying to conserve things, make sure of the last 5 shots.
Latypov's strength, I'm just looking at his last scores. His strength really is this season has been his stand shooting, Latypov, so that's got to be a confidence builder.
Yeah, Christensen 34.9 on the range last time. Quickest so far, Philipp Norath of Germany, 26.4. And that's helped put Germany up into 4th place, a comfortable margin ahead of 5th now. So Germany are chasing France. There's just over 24 seconds between them at the moment. We should get another update fairly shortly on their progress, but that is the battle for the 3rd place.
Well, Samuelsson hasn't had a great time in the range. He came into the range in 7th. He's now out on the track in 11th place.
Yeah, I think he just decided to throw caution to the wind to try and help you.
With my 7th place prediction.
With your prediction.
It's not over yet. And all the while, Belgium still hanging in there at top 10. That's a wonderful performance from the Belgian team. Beatrix, the French, ex-French biathlete, the team leader there.
The gap's growing. Phil Maillet is getting closer to the leaders, and Norath is getting further behind Phil Maillet. So looking good for France. Once that pressure from the chase is off, then maybe they can start to focus on trying to overhaul the Russians in 2nd place. 30 seconds between 2nd and 3rd at the moment. They will make visual contact on this part of the course, and Christensen will see exactly what the threat is as he goes round this dead turn at the top of the climb, back down into the stadium, and he may not be too happy to see that Latypov is still there, still going well.
So much psychology, yes. Christensen, his brain would have flickered. Oops, he's still there, and he's maybe closed it by a second. No, it's still running the same time practically. Christensen not backing off at all. That's the final climb, if you like, before this easy ride into the range, but you're on practically on maximum there. Now this section here is important to try and get as much recovery as possible.
Talking about psychology, Mike, Latiopov, first he was checking out the Norwegians and Christiansen, but as he went round the corner, he then had to deal with the fact that France are still on his tail. So who does he focus on?
I think he's looking to win. I think the Russians, when they sniff a chance, they're going to really try and hold on to it.
Glass half full.
Yeah.
Big moment then, and with 15 seconds, he can ill afford to miss more than one. Christiansen has, as I said, he's only had one bad shoot this year, and it came in the very first race. The last shoot in the stand on the first race where he missed 3 of the 5. He then went clear in the sprint. He missed 1 2 days ago in the sprint. That was in the stand again. So of the disciplines, it is the stand where he is the most vulnerable. He needs this spare. He needs this spare, and Latiopov could do with rattling off 2 or 3 before Christiansen gets his sights in order, but a miss from Russia will relax the Norwegian. He's missed first time round. It's a nerve game. Wow. It is a nerve game, and there's a chance for France. Again, they get an opportunity. Fion-Maillet taking his place on the firing point. Christiansen is away. Russia and Latiopov are in danger of going on the penalty loop. One more miss, and their position in second could go.
Oh, Latiopov hasn't missed one stand shot this season so far until this pressurised moment.
Look at Fion-Maillet, 4 out of 4.
No.
Does he believe? He does. Down it goes. Russia close a 30-second gap on the France close a 30-second gap on the Russians on the very last shoot of the day, and Russia now in danger of going off the podium altogether. It's Germany who have an opportunity, and what a moment for Philipp Norath. 1 penalty loop, 25 seconds. It cannot be slow from Norath.
Norath,
he might as well go for it. He might as well go for it.
He has to. He knows full well what happened to Latiopov. He's on the penalty loop. He needs to, and he is.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame. He needed 5. I think that secures Russia's 3rd spot. Latiopov just about to exit the penalty loop now. Here he goes. And Norath, I don't think he can close that. But had he got 5 with 5, Russia would have been in trouble.
Well, this is interesting. You've got to think of the mind state now of Latiopov from safe second, almost first, to dropping it down to 3rd. I think the gap's too much, though.
18 seconds. It's a long, long way. Ukraine come out ahead of Italy. Good shooting from Ukraine. That was Anton Dudchenko on the firing point. Then Dominic Vindish, not a brilliant day for him. I was expecting better from the Italian.
Oh, me too. He's really messing up in his stand shoot right now, Patrick. He's needs all of his 3 spare rounds.
Norway are safe. They've come out with a 20-second margin over France. Fion-Maillet may not think so. He's the man chasing. There he is. He can see what he's got to do, but it's only a 2.5 kilometre lap. So to gain, what, 8.5 seconds per kilometre, that's a big ask on someone like Christiansen, who is going very nicely. Christiansen, incidentally, finished 5th in the sprint 2 days ago and was just 2 places behind Fion-Maillet, a 10-second margin between the 2 men.
I'm feeling pretty good now about Fion-Maillet tomorrow in the pursuit. He starts 3rd, and just when you can hold that kind of pressure on the last shoot, it bodes well.
Yeah, he's chasing his teammate Jacquelin, who finished 2nd, and then Samuelson, who finished 1st. Both of those 2 men have had trouble on the range today. Confidence low. Well, he's got the information. 2 sekunda, 20 seconds, the margin. Fion-Maillet closed it. Doesn't look like it might. I think he'll know what's possible and what's not.
Well, further back, Samuelson's had a much better day in terms of stand shooting, or he didn't have a good pro, and he's had a very good stand. I think he still has a chance of getting up to 7th.
Well, yeah. Samuelson, incidentally, came out after the last shoot, he came out in 8th place, 13 seconds down on Dominic Vindish. Vindish has done penalty loops, so his spirits won't be high. And then you've got Smolski, so he may do even better than that, but I think Smolski's probably out of reach.
Yes, too far. Dudchenko out there. Oh, Smolski, I beg your pardon. Yes, probably out of reach. Well, Norath, he's getting all the encouragement. You can do it, you can touch the podium, but he's running out of snow distance.
Well, he's doing better. He's doing better. He's got it from 18 down to 14, but running, as you say, running out of snow to make that sort of a margin. And Christensen can enjoy the last 800 meters here in Oestersund. The Norwegians have won many a race here. Not as many as they'd like, but it's good hunting ground for them.
And Sweden still remain without a victory here at home in the relay ever. And I really did think they had a strong chance of putting that right today.
So the world champions do it yet again. They finished in first place in the first relay of last year, beating Sweden and Germany down into 2nd and 3rd on that occasion. Today, it's the French they had to hold off. Good racing from the French. Shooting-wise, France with 8 misses, no penalty loops. At least, Mike, at least 60% of the teams have been on the penalty loop.
It's amazing. It's not a tough, not a greatly difficult day on the range.
So Christensen wrapping up the Norwegian effort. It all started with Sivert Bakken, who was brought in instead of Sturlaholm. Lygrid, Tarjei Bø handed over to his brother Johannes Tinges, and then Vetle Sjåstad Christensen, who is fast becoming the reliable anchorman for Norway. He takes the tape, and the time of 1:14.09. Irrelevant in many ways. What is impressive, they only missed 4 targets today. At one stage, it looked as though they were going to miss just 1. But Phil Maillet, delighted with his effort. He backs up the good racing from the rest of the French team. Cloud started it, Jacquelin, Dessieux, Phil Maillet. 8 targets missed. 2 or 3 less than that, and they might well have been in there giving the Norwegians a run for their money. And nervous moments for Russia. At one stage, they were challenging for first. Suddenly, they were defending third. But Latyakov held strong and comes in the bronze medal position for the Russians, who took the bronze medal in the World Championships in Pachuca last year. Germany failed to make it 2 wins in succession in World Cup relays, but it's okay. It's okay. 6 targets missed, no penalty loops. That looks pretty good on paper. 1:07 behind. 1 outstanding performance from the team, and they will be challenging. So that just about wraps it up from Oestersund. Brilliant racing from the Norwegians. The favourites take top prize. France in 2, Russia 3. Well, thanks for your company today. Do join us tomorrow. The women's pursuit is complete today. They race the relay, their first relay of the season tomorrow. And the men go in the pursuit. Seb Samuelsson will lead the way for the home team.
three teams will be on the turn. Next team to finish, Lahare Bukla.
but congratulations, bringing home the victory. Never easy, but you made it look, even though the first shot was a bit fast, huh?
Thank you. Yeah, it's never easy to race the first man-to-man fight for the first race of the season. It was, of course, exciting. Relay, I got a good handover from Johannes and the rest of the team. But it was always a tight fight, even if I was leading all the way. I could hear especially Latipov in my back, and the last standing I had decided to attack, so I was attacking from the first shot, maybe a little too fast, and the rest was quite good, and of course always some troubling hitting the first extra shots of the year, but all in all a very good race for the Norwegian team, only 4 spare shots, so I guess Siggy is happy.
You should be, congratulations.
Thank you.
You know this jersey, this shit jersey they make, I will never take it. I will never have it. I swear I never even wear it. I take the fire.
Don't say never. It can
It's Frenchmen everywhere. Hooligan. Where are they living here? No. No,
They are studying in Trondheim.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
The guy of the last week.
More Frenchmen than Norway.
Yeah, but it's new. It was not like this a few years ago.
They are really brave because it's really cold.
We wait for...
women's 4x7.5 kilometer relay. The prize will be awarded by Eva Löfving, winner of the Swedish Federation and
Merci, monsieur le ministre.
Får ikke han over hodet engang.
Ja, tusen takk.
Thank you.